Hi everybody and welcome to another random bookish video. And it seems like I am on this momentum where I can actually have some content to in order to make weekly videos like this. And I imagine months ago I wouldn't be able to do this because I think every week will be the same books read. No books finished. So I think I'm really glad that I'm able to kind of like at least finish one book per week, and that's the thing that I want to talk about in this video. What I've finished reading, what I'm currently reading, and what I have recently acquired. So, past week I finished one book. This book is unfortunately something that was really disappointing for me, and I I felt really sad. And this was The Ravishing of Lulstein by Marguerite Duras. And this book was translated by Richard Seaver, and I was reading this book for Women in Translation. This was my second Women in Translation book. This book was originally written in French, and I must say that when I first got into this book, I thought that the title was so dramatic. The starting of the story was dramatic as well, and I really liked how the narrator was giving us the backstory of the character Lulstein in this book. And I was really excited. It was like a really nice setup to what I hope would be a nice payoff at the back. And I was just really curious to see what happened to Lulstein after all of the things that happened to her. Basically, she has been abandoned by her fiance 10 years prior to the event of the book. And then in the present day, she returns to the place where all of that happened. She was really interested in the relationship, the side relationship, the affair that her best friend Tatiana Carl is having with another guy named Jack, who is the narrator of this book, by the way. And this is what I find really annoying. Now, this book is narrated by this character Jack Holt, who is the lover of Tatiana, who happened to be married, by the way. And so Jack kind of saw Lulstein and he was interested in her. And me as a reader, I came into this book, I thought that the story is going to be about Lulstein. True enough, the first half of the book was indeed about Lulstein. And then by the time it got to the middle, it took a deep dive in enjoyability, because that is when the narrator kind of start to hijack this book and made this book all about him and how he finds Lulstein so alluring and fascinating and intriguing and all those stuff, and he starts to do things, and most of the action actually came from him. Most of the thoughts came from him, which is fair enough, he's the narrator, but I literally did not hear anything about Lulstein. I did not hear anything Lulstein wants to say. She has no voice in this book. And so it was really disappointing. We were fed all of those information about the character of Lul in this book, and I ended up did not getting any. So it was a disappointing read. I gave it a 2-star, and this was the only book that I finished past week. So in terms of book finish, it wasn't a good week. However, in terms of the books that I'm currently reading, I must say that it's a pretty good week. So let's check out those instead. One of the best books that I am currently reading is this by Rohinton Mystery, A Fine Balance. We're doing this for a group read for Jyotsna, and this is awesome. And despite the length of it, the thickness, I find that the writing here is really great. It's really engaging. The story is just so nice. This is actually a story set in India, and it's about how the lives of 4 different characters kind of intertwine with each other. They all came from different backgrounds, different caste, different socioeconomic backgrounds, and I think it's really interesting to see how the characters interact with each other. And there are bits in this book that are heartbreaking, heartwarming, some would kind of make you squirm. And overall, this book is it's just like a roller coaster ride. It's really awesome. Another thick book that I'm doing is with Kim from K. Becker's Books, and this one is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. This week we are reading until chapter 20, so this is our second week. And this book is also pretty nice. I really like the humor sprinkled around the text, and the writing also has this really Victorian flavor to it, and at the same time it is written in a like a also some contemporary style. And one really notorious thing about this book is the footnotes, and I realized that I cannot stop for the footnotes. Like it really disrupt my flow. At the same time, I feel like the footnotes really enrich this book, but when I do read it, I skip the footnotes, and I would only revisit the footnotes after I finish certain sections that I intended to read, or certain chapters. So that's how it is. That's the footnotes. I'm also doing a buddy read with Sue for The Inheritance of Lost. This is the dust jacket. The physical book is somewhere far, and my hands could not reach them, and I'm too lazy to take it. Yeah. And we are on our fourth week, I think. And personally, though, I not particularly a big fan of this book, but we're gonna finish it anyway. And then recently I also kind of joined a read-along for William Faulkner's Faulkner in August 2020 after I saw a video by Brian from Bookish, and this one is The Sound and the Fury. I finished the first chapter last week, and this week is for the second chapter, and I think that this book is really rewarding, and I think it's really fun. It's quite challenging, but it's fun. I liked it very much. In addition to all those readings, I also have my third Women in Translation book, which is this one, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. However, I just started this one, so I can't say much about it yet, but the first chapter seems kind of nice, and I think there's a promise in there. So let's see how it goes with this. I'm really excited. And now on to the kind of like a final section, books that I bought or acquired recently. Actually, I ordered this book a while ago, but it only arrived last week. So here I'm going to talk about some of the books that arrived. These were secondhand books, so I did not spend a lot of money on these, but the excitement is the same. I think the excitement is probably even slightly more than buying new books, because with secondhand books you never know what is going to be available in a particular store or in a particular bookseller's catalog, because they always depend on whatever book they acquire from other people who sold to them. So yeah, secondhand books are really exciting. I just kind of want to show some that I bought right here. The first one was actually I have a bit of a mixed feeling about this purchase, because when I decided to order this book, I was actually I just started The Ravishing of Lolstein, and I thought that it was good, so that's why I ended up getting Marguerite Duras' another book. It's The Lover. And by the time this book arrived, I've already finished The Ravishing of Lolstein, and I'm not sure. I'm feeling a little bit scared right now that this book might not live up to my expectation also. So I'm a bit worried, to be honest. Yeah. The other books that I bought were short story collections, and I actually got 3 of them by 2 different authors. The first one was by Jeffrey Eugenides. I read Middlesex in March, and I thought that that book was really great, really engaging, and really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And so that's why I decided to get this short story collection, A Fresh Complaint, and see how his writing is like in a short story format. And so the next author whose short story collections that I actually bought 2 short story collections because I was just that interested. And the author is Annie Proulx, and I bought 2. The first one is Close Range, and the other one is Fine Just the Way It Is. If you are familiar with the works of Annie Proulx, if you are familiar with her novels, short story collections, you would know that Close Range is very interesting because it contains one of her most famous short stories, and that is Brokeback Mountain. And I am really excited to read that. I'm really interested. I've never seen the movie because, I'm not exactly a movie person, but it's famous. And so I'm really excited to read these 2 books. So that's it for the random book video this time. And it's actually Sunday here. It's really nice. The weather is really nice. I just hung my clothes outside. Yesterday I did that, but I wasn't able to dry them completely because I had to get to work in the afternoon, so I have to take them away from the sun, and which was a good decision because turns out it actually rained in the evening. Had I not done that, then my clothes would have been soaked. So this is a good day to dry my clothes, and I think I'm gonna really happy about that as well. And I hope it's gonna be a good day, and hope it's the same for all of you too. And until then, I'll see you again in the next video, and so take care, and bye bye.